What is Metaverse? Metaverse meaning coming from the virtual real life. What is virtual real life? In real life we have a lot of stuff. We have nature, we have water, we have a lot of things. And in VR side, virtual side, metaverse side, we are also trying to create this stuff. But why we are creating this stuff? Because our population at the world is growing so fast. Today in the world we have 8 billion human in the world. But in the 30 years we gonna see like a 30 billion human. And this world is not so big for the live inside with 13 billion human. And most of company and most of project try to build in their world. And we are saying this one metaverse. Okay, let's talk about firstly what we saw at the blockchain live metaverse. Facebook company changed their brands, their names to Meta. And after it, we started to see a lot of metaverse projects. Why we saw a lot of projects? Some global brands, global companies started to invest in this area. Then people saw why we are not creating our metaverse. Then they started to create their metaverse. But we saw a lot of game projects. We saw a lot of fun projects. For example, they're just creating like a game, like FPS game, like a MMORPG game, like this stuff. But they are not metaverse. Because 20 years ago, also we saw a lot of MMORPG games. By the way, metaverse topic is coming from Night Online. I think you played Night Online, I'm not sure, or quite like these games. After these games, we saw avatars at the games. People try to create avatars and they try to live in these games. But I searched a lot of things about metaverse, and we saw at the universities metaverse should definitely add benefit for humanity. How can metaverse add benefit for humanity? We have health sector, education sector, and by the way, most of sector in real life. And our technology is changing with the time. In this with time, we are spending a lot of money to develop a lot of technological stuff. For example, if you want to create any biological or chemical labs in the health sector, you need to spend $1 billion. But in metaverse side, for example, if you want to create a biological labs, you can create it with a low budget. For example, in real life, we have different experimental solutions. Experimental answers. Our experimental solutions can change with the weather, with environmental problems, and with everything. In blockchain, if we want to create some biological or chemical labs for health sector, we can use oracles to change. To add in real life data to metaverse. And this one is the first one topic for the metaverse side. If metaverse will be happen, definitely also it's included all in health sector too. For example, you are a medicine student, okay, at the university, and you need to see a lot of organs, a lot of bodies, for example, brain and another stuff. In metaverse also you can reach these organs at the virtual site so easy. And for example, some companies trying to research about surgery from outside. What does it mean? For example, Harvard University also making a research on VR glasses side. And if, for example, you live in a small town, okay, and you need to go to hospital, but in your town you don't have a lot of doctors, and when you go to the hospital, we gonna have some robotic calls, and other doctors from maybe New York, and they wanna use VR glasses and Metaverse, they can control also robotic calls to make some surgery. Harvard University working about it. It is one topic for just health sector. And also, we have education sector. At COVID-19 process, we couldn't go to universities. We used a lot of Web2 applications like Google Meet, Zoom, a lot of stuff. For example, when it happened, I was a student at the university. Then, we use it to take our lessons, Google Meet and Zoom applications. When I am taking these lessons from the Web2 applications, I saw a lot of problems. For example, I couldn't interact a lot of lessons. I didn't try a lot of things because, I was studying not only some psychology. My specific side is the neuropsychology. I couldn't access the labs. And with Metaverse, if we can create some classes in VR sites, also we can access the virtual classes, and we can interact most of them materials, and we can access the labs too for make education. And I am thinking in 10 years, when you are going to university, you can access the Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint license. And some project will create a Metaverse, VR glasses Metaverse project. And or when we go to university, also we will get this license access to rich Metaverse project too. We know this will be happen, but we have time. And in Metaverse, most of project try to create their project on the computer side, but we make it 8-9 months for the research months. How can we create real Metaverse at the university? And we solve. People need more reality. People need to feel reality in Metaverse. And with keyboard or mouse, people can't feel reality. And we solve. Today's technology is so hard to create Metaverse at the VR glasses, we know. But maybe 2-3 years later, we saw a lot of professional VR glasses because Meta, Oculus, Apple also trying to create professional VR glasses. And real Metaverse should create definitely in VR glasses because people need to see reality. And with the VR glasses, you can access the more stuff. For example, you can use your hands, and you can use your legs. You can feel yourself real. I think you're gonna use. You use it before VR glasses. I am not sure. Yeah, maybe you use it basic VR glasses, but for example, professional VR glasses is supporting a lot of things. Today's technology, how many people has VR glasses? You can ask me, but don't worry. For example, Nokia phones was so popular maybe 15 years ago, but they didn't learn how can create smartphones. They didn't update themselves Android phones or iOS phones like that stuff, and they lose it. And maybe 5 years later, we gonna see also VR glasses everywhere. When technology is starting to grow so fast, people is getting more easy reaching this technology so easy. And after it, we're gonna see a lot of Metaverse project too. But let's talk about firstly. Blockchain is offering something for Metaverse. Yes, definitely. For example, blockchain is offering to Metaverse to collect data on the decentralized site. And it is also offering to Metaverse project unlimited storage and also security too. Okay, we have some different project also Astar about Metaverse. First one is the Cosmos, second one is the Neuralunch. For example, you can check the Cosmizio. They have very, very professional team in their project. And they are trying to create some metaverse for the events or other things. They are trying to create a real life in their metaverse. And when we check the knowledge, we are seeing a lot of working about the health and education sector. We can see a lot of different projects about metaverse, and this project can try to build different metaverse sites. For example, it can be for health sector. Also, it can be open world to for life too. And I mean, you are working any job, right? And I saw your message, Toga, right now. Yeah, I said VR glasses, night Viagra. And uh, and you are working somewhere, right? Maybe you are an engineer. Also, you are going to some jobs, and maybe most of jobs doesn't offer to work in real life. For example, I'm a psychologist. I can also make my therapy at the VR at Metaverse site. It can be happen. Psychological Association, American Psychological Association make a research about it. Some psychotherapy can work in Metaverse too. It can be happen. It can be happen, and we saw, yeah, it can be happen because when people want to reach metaverse, they are changing their avatars too. In mind, their perception is trying to learn metaverse, and these are then people is forgetting their identity, and they are connecting their personal identity with these avatars. And also, Ahmed is here too. Ahmed, if you wish, you can join also because you are a VR developer at the Turkey, and you know how can we create a VR metaverse too. If you can send the how can I send invite to Ahmed? I'm not sure. If you can apply, Ahmed, you can send me invitations and I can add you. By the way, also we saw a lot of AI projects too. Most of project included in their service. For example, AI site. Let's talk about it. What is artificial intelligence? I make the AI program at my first master program, and I researched metaverse on AI too. For example, if you're gonna use some AI for the machine learning and other stuff, you can grow your metaverse so easy. For example, you are just giving some codes to AI, and the AI is building your metaverse with the time. Our space is growing up every second. It's like working in real life in AI too. For example, we have different planets in the space, and our space is growing every second. Also, if you want to use AI in the metaverse, it can be the AI can build your metaverse every second too. Okay, If you have any questions, you can ask me. But we saw Metaverse Metaverse gonna be our second life, and also Metaverse gonna offer us a benefit for the make some research for health sector, education sector, and another stuff too. For example, Matos Franze, distributor is working about philosophy too. And most of projects or technological revolutions created with the philosophical ideas. People think what we need in real life. Population is growing so fast, and we should make something. They thought, how can we make it? Can we copy paste our word to virtual site? Everything is starting like that, guys. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me. But I need to say, most of Metaverse project is right now just a trend. Real Metaverse project should be a definitive benefit for humanity. If you are investing something about the Metaverse, you should it should be some hype, But when most of companies try to build some metaverse projects like Meta or Apple, we gonna see a lot of real metaverse project, guys, because they are they are also building a VR glasses technology, and maybe we can change our life with the metaverse project after to add health sector, education sector, at most of sector too. But metaverse can be some dangerous for psychologically for people too. It will be happen. When it will be happen, I am not sure. But we will see a lot of also psychological disorders about metaverse too. Because most of people has a sociological anxieties and like most of mental illness. We saw a lot of problems with the researchment with the games. For example, some people is playing a lot of games and they don't want to close their game. They just want to play their avatar. They are forgetting their selves, their identity with this avatar. In Metaverse, if we gonna see like this in real life avatars, also we can lose our identity too. We should be careful. It can change a lot of culture, a lot of identity, but it can also add a lot of benefit for humanity too. If we can use this technology useful, it will be perfect. Let's see what will happen. And I think I thought about the health sector about metaverse, education sector about metaverse too. And I said, what is metaverse? Actually, metaverse has a lot of meaning. But if you're asking me, metaverse is our second life. If you don't want to play in your real life, you will play in your second life too. And also, I want to share some scientific research with you. At the Pavia, also some other universities from Italy, they make it research about metaverse. Can we add our minds to virtual side too? What is it meaning? People is dying with the sometimes, with the some patients and like that. And we don't know right now what is mind. We just know in the science we have memory, but we don't know how we are controlling our mind. Yeah, I read a play one, yeah, like that. And we don't know how can we control our minds. Some universities trying to collect our data from brain, store it somewhere, and they are trying to give these data to VR site, virtual site about, these avatars too. If we can give these memories to these avatars, our second life can be unlimited. Forward to. Maybe we can't die if we want to use our avatars in second life. It can be happen too. But right now we don't know what is mind control. What is it? We just know memory datas. Like that. Okay. And I think you played before some MMORPG games, right? Okay. Ahmet can. Hello, Ahmet. Welcome.
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Hello, internet, but through the internet. And we are
You can hear me, right?
yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, see. Okay. You are creating some VR technologies. You are also right now working with me, but you work at some another place too before. They like biggest companies for they are working about VR technology and metaverse side too. And as a developer, what you saw, why you are developing on VR glasses side? Are you thinking Metaverse will be on VR? And Metaverse will be our future? Are you thinking it?
Yes.
Because I am only scientist. I am not a developer. I am just making research
Yes.
departments. What do you
Absolutely.
think about it?
Absolutely should be based on VR because there is no such a technology as immersive as VR. That's the final sentence actually. Because if you experience VR before, you will see that your interface, for example, the interface you use is not a mouse or keyboard. Is it is your hands, and it's very different than your previous experience actually. For example, uh, when I make other people use to VR headsets, their reactions are amazing. They are saying that it's very different than any other previous experience of yours, and they say, "Wow!" Their reactions are amazing actually because it's very really different, and you can't explain to other people how VR is because that people should experience it. Not you can't understand it just looking at the to this screen. It's very different experience actually. So, for example, I think you most of the people watched Matrix film and they know how Matrix works. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely 3D and but the virtual world actually. It's like the
Uh-huh.
not the real world. Actually, VR is something like that, but of course, it's not right now like that because it's not developed so much then because it's like a new experience, a new actually medium right now, not the very because it's it's new technology in the world and the VR glasses isn't uh, good, very good right now. They have, for example, it's they are heavy and the resolution is not very high right now. But when it is developed so much, when the VR glasses will be perfect, you will see that it can be no different than the real life. Really, technology can can take us to that level. I think in the maybe 10 or 20 years later. I think because metaverse, it's like 3D internet. It's 3D internet.
Uh-huh.
For example, now we use all the time mobile phones. It's like our uh, main body part of the body part. We use it all the time. We use all the time mobile phones. It's like the gate to our virtual world, but it's not actually enough for now because we use it so much, but and the mobile phone technology has developed so much, but for example, Apple is now entering to the AR glasses and VR glasses sector right now, and they they are using that technology because they see something that's bigger, that very big thing is coming to the world right now. And it's mobile phone is actually an interface, but that's like the 2D screen, and that's it. But for example, when the I know now the VR glasses not very like the not as smaller as the mobile phones, but when the VR glasses as much as smaller as mobile phones, you will see that uh, you should you don't need any actually the any like the device, like the physical device to see the virtual screen. For example, you can wear your VR glasses or your XR glasses, and then your virtual screen can, and you can see your virtual screen in front of your eyes. You don't need any physical objects like the mobile phone. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually uh, spatial scene like this. It's actually uh, completely change the medium, and like
Mm-hmm.
actually. So I think VR is inevitable for the world, and big companies like Meta and Apple show Meta and saw it, and now they will revolutionize the world right now with these technologies. And I believe
Yeah.
Metaverse should be based on VR inevitably, I think.
Yeah, you're right. And you're also developing some VR applications, and you showed it to me before. For example, some VR applications that doesn't need a hand console to use this in these applications to
Yes.
change object, to control object. They are only understanding our hand movements,
Yes.
and they are supporting hand movements too. And should I ask you? I mean, you know, we saw a lot of metaverse project before. They tried to create some game project, and is it real metaverse, Ahmed?
No, of course, no, because first, Metaverse should be multiplayer, okay, but making multiplayer game isn't enough for the Metaverse. But at the same time, it should be immersive and very immersive. But it's not immersive. For example, when you play a browser game with mouse or keyboard, it's just a 3D game. Or when you just play as regular VR application, it's just a game. You can't connect all the people around the world, or you can't use your real avatar in with other people's. Actually, there are some VR applications like Metaverse, but it's not the perfect applications like right now, because the technology is not doesn't reach that level right now. Actually, the projects right
Mm-hmm.
now is just trying to close the metaverse concept, but they are very far from that concept, because we need some time to reach that level, because
Yeah,
for
you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And we mapped a lot of things, researching about VR and metaverse. And we saw people should need a second word, or people should only useful space for in their real life stuff. For example, some people is working at the home, and uh, maybe they can also create some office at the metaverse site if their house is not so big. And metaverse will be like that, or we gonna see real life in metaverse? What do you think about it?
I think in the future, uh, metaverse will be like second life, because I think now, right now, mobile phones, the social media, is our second life. Yeah, actually, because
Mm-hmm.
we are spending a lot of time on that applications and the internet. and the VR is much immersive than this application. So then what awaits us actually, I think it's like our second life, because it will be much better than the right now the VR applications. For example, you will have your VR avatar. You can make a lot of things that you can't do in your real life. So I think it's I think people will choose that life, for example, and considering the world situation like the overpopulation, global climate change, the pandemics, and maybe with AI, people don't have to work, like maybe they have so much free time, and people should live another life, I think, because when the because in real life not all the people can be rich or do a lot of amazing things, but when you use VR you can make a lot of things that you can't do in your real life, and
Yeah.
I think people will choose that lifestyle and will be their second
Yes.
life, I think.
And at the blockchain side, we have different zones like EVM, WebAssembly. And I know WebAssembly is offering a lot of things for Metaverse project on blockchain. What do you think about WebAssembly? Is this offering a lot of things also for the Metaverse project?
Yes, because it can create an interoperability about the metaverses. Like, because there will be not just one big VR application that all the people will use. I think there will be a lot of VR there will be a lot of metaverses, and so the interoperability between this metaverse, I think there should be, and for the blockchain side, there should be a like the connections between these words. So I think, and for the WASM, because actually the WASM's main purpose is to create high quality applications on the web, and so and I know Polkadot and Astar will use it as are using it as virtual machines, and because of some advantages. And I think for the VR, yes,
Mhm.
we will utilize WASM, but actually they are a little bit experimental right now. The
Yeah.
my ideas about it doesn't not isn't finalized right now, but I can say uh, this. Yeah, I can say it.
And I explained it already, but I want to ask you too because you are a Web3 developer. I'm not an engineer, I am not any developer. I'm just making some research and creating some projects too. Metaverse should be on blockchain. It is very basic question. Just explain it with one sentence, please.
Yes, because we can do some things with only blockchain. Like with one sentence, I can say that we can create the world's logic. For example, in the real life, we have some rules, some physical rules in the world that
Yeah,
people can't change. Just they are just see it and
yeah,
observe
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. Like for example, the an object is falling, for example,
Yeah, you are
gravity,
right.
and maybe we can use a blockchain as a base for it. Like for example, we can create some rules on blockchain, and VR metaverses, and metaverses can behave according to that, I think. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Because in real natural life, we have some rules. For example, when I drop my phone, it can be broke too. And I think we can create metaverse on blockchain with some rules too, with smart contracts, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And the real ownership, we can utilize NFTs, and that's the, I think, real perfect situation for blockchain and
yeah.
plus VR. And I think,
Yeah.
and for NFTs, I think the NFTs will be very meaningful in metaverse, because actually NFTs are the virtual products, are the ownership. Like, for example, in the real life you have a mobile phone, and this is yours
Yes.
because it's physically in your hand. But
Yeah.
for the virtual worlds, how can we do that? Okay,
Yeah. And
of course using blockchain and
if
NFTs.
we are creating the metaverse, we should definitely create a multi-chain, because we need more users. Most of people should access this metaverse. In blockchain type, we have different blockchain communities, ecosystem, and we need to create some multi-blockchain ecosystem. And Astar Network is offering us it, because it has EVM type, and also it has WebAssembly type. I mean, we can also substrate tools and EVM tools. And we saw Astar, and also Supernova, and also Astar will integrate at the ZK EVM side. And after the connect Astar ZK EVM, also we're gonna see a lot of communities from Ethereum, and a lot of brands from Ethereum too. And it can be at a lot of volume and value for the Astar Metaverse project, because Metaverse project should access more users. After Supernova, maybe we can see a lot of users on Astar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Polkadot philosophy is based on that actually. The-
Yeah,
we have a lot of blockchain, but how can we all connect to one infrastructure, like one infrastructure, like, because
yeah.
they should connect to each other. So yes, absolutely,
And,
we,
and
we should focus on that.
at the future, most of people doesn't know they are using a blockchain technology. They're gonna use some basic login stuff like a wallet, maybe basic wallet, and after it, they're gonna connect the blockchain site too, right? People
Yes, yes,
shouldn't know
abstraction.
they
Yes,
are using
abstraction should be
blockchain
done.
actually.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because
Yeah,
it's not. It's just a. It should be just a background, like a backend tech. It's a backend technology, and it's like a database. So people doesn't know it actually. Yeah, maybe we can abstract some functionalities, and people can use it easily, because people just wanna have fun, make money, and have fun, spend good time. They are just no, they are
yeah,
just uh, want it. Okay, so we we should create some easiness. Like, we have to make the people's life easier. So people should join easily. People should connect wallet, and yeah, it shouldn't be hard actually. Yes, I agree
yeah.
absolutely.
And you are a VR developer, and also you are a computer scientist. And we talked a lot of things about VR metaverse today. And maybe someone want to create some metaverse project here. I'm not sure. What is your suggestion to people? They should focus to VR side for the create metaverse project.
I think yes. People know. People should know that area, because uh,
It is so beginning, right, for the VR technology.
yes,
If they're gonna develop their skill for the develop VR technology, it can be so useful. Because right now we are just seeing the Apple and Meta companies trying to update their technological stuff on VR, and also Apple companies are trying to a lot of things. At the AR side too. Maybe next years we're gonna see another companies too. Also Sony is creating some VR glasses for their applications and for their consoles like PlayStation. I am believing we're gonna see different technology on the metaverse in the next years. But if you are asking me, guys, we're gonna see a lot of revelation on health sector and education sector on VR. I mean Metaverse. Let's see what will be happen. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. Also, you can ask Ahmed too. Also, Ahmed, do you want to add something about the Metaverse right now? Because we are finishing our today's space. If we are not adding anything.
Uh, if you want to know the potential of the metaverse, you can play Half-Life Alyx. Maybe you can. Yeah, it's very good product on VR, and you can see the potential of the VR using that game, Half-Life Alyx. I think you know you people know that, and playing it on VR is very amazing experience, and it's like it's 5 years ago. It's start. Yeah, 5 years ago actually. It yeah.
Yes,
So
it's 5 years ago technology, I know. And you know, Metaverse won't be game, guys. Metaverse will be our future. Let's see how can it's possible. But I think maybe 5 years later or 10 years later, you will be remember our topics today, and maybe you won't need to go to doctor or take your health insurance like that stuff. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. We recorded our video, today's space video. Also, we're gonna share it maybe tomorrow or today. I'm not sure. If you have any questions, you can ask us. Thank you so much, Toga, to manage this space. I wish one to create also presentation for today's, but I can't use my computer ethically. But it doesn't matter. We talked a lot of things about Metaverse and VR here. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Again, gracias. Come to here.
thank you.
Okay, so wait, let's check the space. Okay. Bye bye. Yo. Let's build the feature on Astar network. Ciao.